Hey guys, how we doing? Just wanted to come on here and do a quick update about my wrist and how it's been post surgery. I know some people, if you have been following me, just to kind of get the whole scope of everything that's been going on. I'm gonna keep doing these updates until I'm back fighting. So I believe right now I am about 23 weeks post surgery. I got my surgery done October 15th, 2024, and today is March 27th, 2025. So officially 6 months hit April 15th, but we're pretty close, getting really close to, I guess being at the finish line. Um, I'm gonna say my wrist has gotten a lot better. It's certain things that I'm still working my way up to, but I'm I am happy with where I've been so far. It's been a tough recovery. It's still tough every day because some things I want to do, but then I can't do it yet. But yeah, let me just go ahead and show y'all my range of motion really quickly. No, let me start like this first. So this is my forward flexion. This is my right side. The camera's flipped. And this is my left side. Hand I got surgery on. This is my forward flexion, as y'all can see. I don't know if y'all can see the difference, so it doesn't really go perpendicular. So my last update was, I believe, 4 or 5 weeks ago. Man, my range of motion hasn't really gotten better since then. I'm just gonna be real with y'all. Like I've been doing therapy, I've been stretching, but it's still pretty much the same. This is kind of where we're at right now. Good arm or good wrist and surgery wrist. Just so y'all get the idea of it. This is where we're at. I say my, good wrist is probably at about 90, and this one is probably closer to like 70, 75. Let me come to the side. This is where you see a major difference. I can't really bend to the side that much as far as I can bend this one, but, and then we come this way. It's actually better if I put my hands on the table and I show you all the side bends because then you see the major difference, but that's kind of where we're at right now. And as far as, backwards, this is where we're at. So yeah, it is a difference and it is visible. I said this one again, I'm close to 90. This one is probably like 70, 75. But when I do put, pressure on it, I can actually pull it back and make my surgery wrist go to 90, if that makes sense. So right now I say it's about 70, then I can just push it back and it actually stays here, but there's not enough strength to support it at 90, if that makes sense. So, and I was talking to my therapist and she was like, that essentially means that I can physically get there, but it might be very difficult just because my wrist isn't strong enough yet to support holding that 90-degree position. You see what I'm saying? Like push it back, but then yeah. But when I try and push down on this, there's not really much give. Like this is a hard stop I reach. Like I can't really push past this even though I put force on it. But here I'm able to push past it, as you can see. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with the range of motion. As far as everything I've been doing, let me just give y'all a quick scope. Therapy work, I've been using this. It's a gyro ball. So I use it in therapy, and then my physical therapist said to get one, so I got one off Amazon. It's called a gyro ball, whatever you call it. You just let it start to spin. Then start to do this. And essentially, what it does, it works out your forearms and your wrist and your whole hand. So apparently, it works for proprioception, according to her. I forgot exactly what she said. And then your forearm muscles, your wrist muscles are getting worked too, so that helps strengthen it. I do this for about 2 minutes one way, and then I flip and go 2 minutes the other way. And it's a lot harder than it looks because after you do this for like 20 seconds, your arm starts to burn, and you just have to keep going. But yeah, that's what I've been doing, and you can spin faster and faster. At first, I couldn't really go too fast because my wrist was pretty weak, but now I'm able to pick up the pace, which is a pretty good sign. So as far as everything that I've been doing in ultimate physical activity, I'm able to do a knuckle push-up. So if I were to get on the ground, I can't really show y'all because I don't have too much. Like the camera doesn't point to the ground, but if I were to get on the ground and put my knuckles on the ground, I could do push-ups that way. I could probably bang out as many as I need to. It does irritate the wrist a little bit, but again, that's probably just gonna go away with more frequent use because I'm getting back to use my wrist again. And also, as far as being in the gym, this was a very big thing for me because I'm very active every day, all day. Um, I'm back to my regular routine, but I lost a lot of strength, so I can do shoulder press, right? But before I could probably press like 90-pound dumbbells. Now I'm at 25. Like I got to rebuild all that back up, and obviously you have some muscle memory, so it's not going to be the biggest issue. But it's also rebuilding in such a way that doesn't irritate the wrist too much. Because 2 weeks ago, when I tried to dumbbell press or shoulder press 10 pounds, my wrist was shaking and just irritated, like it was upset with me. But now I'm able to do 25-pound dumbbells, and it's not necessarily like a muscle issue. It's more I need to work on stabilizing, and this needs to strengthen enough to you know push the weight. But again, I did lose some strength in my muscles. As far as bench press, I'm able to bench press, no issue there. Barbell bench, that is. Um, Last week I probably doing 10 pounds on each side, so that's what 20, 45, 65 pounds on a barbell bench press before I hit 300 pounds. But again, the wrist is weak, chest is weak. I haven't really worked out as much. Today I actually did bench press and I did a 45 and a 5 on each side. So that's 155. Oh no, 145 if I'm not mistaken. 45, that's 135. 5, that's 145 pounds. And I'm doing that on bench press now, which is pretty good. On incline press, actually. Today was incline. Sorry, guys. I'm a little messed up in the head. No, I'm not. But anyway, so yeah, did incline bench press. 145 pounds on the bench. Military press, strict press, that's pretty fine too with the barbell. I'm probably at 25 and a 5 on each side as well. Before I was repping about 45 on each side. So I am pretty close in that regard, but that more has to do with me losing strength and not necessarily my wrist. Same with bench press is more me losing strength. My wrist doesn't really irritate me when I do barbell bench. But I noticed that I do get irritated when I'm doing dumbbell bench press because apparently, according to my doctor and my physical therapist, your wrist works a lot more to stabilize when you do dumbbell. So that's kind of why it's a bit harder because this starts to shake like this, and but with barbell, this hand is helping this hand stabilize, so it's not as much load on this wrist. If I'm making sense, if you're recovering through the surgery and you start to lift again, you kind of get what I'm saying. So my barbell is doing pretty good. Dumbbells still need to work on that. I'm able to do it, but it's just more work during that regard. I'm probably at 20-pound dumbbells right now, 20 to 25. Before I was doing like 110, so that's a huge drop. I haven't really been as active in the upper body since I got surgery in October, which is nearing 6 months. So again, a good amount of strength was lost, but a good amount of it comes from my wrist being unstable and then needing to catch up and regain strength and me not trying to push it too hard, so I'm able to get to where I was and my wrist is able to handle it because I can't just pick up a 80-pound dumbbell and start to bench press it. No, because my wrist is going to be aggravated. I need to work up to that. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. Body weight lifts, I can do a pull up, which is pretty good. I can just do one before I was banging out like 10 with a 45. It's tough, being, I guess, weaker, especially when you're used to being so strong. But, it's part of the game. We push through, we live. Yeah, so I'm able to do one pull up. I could do about 10 knuckle push ups. That's not assisted as well, just bare knuckle push ups, which is pretty good. And I can do a knee push up, like a regular push up with my hands flat, like this. I could do a knee push up, but I haven't tried like a full push up with my hands flat. I don't know if y'all see that because my bed is black. But yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at right now. So my doctor actually said something interesting. I think I saw him last week. He was like, he would advise against me trying to do a regular push up because apparently when you do a push up and your hand is flat on the ground like this is when the scaphoid and the lunate bones are kind of separated. Like just doing this position. So let me just backtrack. For everybody, whenever you get into the push up position, the scaphoid and the lunate bones automatically stretch a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So let's say they're like this. As soon as you get in that push-up position and your hand is flat on the ground and you put your body weight into it, those bones stretch a little bit. And this is natural. Like everybody experiences this regardless of whether you've been injured or not. That's basically what he told me. So, me being that I have been injured, he would really like to stay away from these bones stretching naturally because that's what they do when they get into a push-up position like that. They naturally just stretch a little bit. So he would like to stay away from that. So he said that obviously he expect that I'll be able to do a push-up again, but future workouts and whatever, I should just modify it. So, listening to this, my therapist pretty much said the exact same thing that those bones do stretch when you get into a push-up position, regardless if you're being injured or not, surgery or not. Even if you had 100% risk before you even got surgery, they just naturally just stretch. So she was saying, yes, we can get you to where you're able to do a single push-up, but whenever you work out or such, don't do it regularly. Don't put your hands on the ground like this. Just do a knuckle push-up. Use a push-up board, push up with dumbbells. Whatever you need to do, just don't. They just wouldn't like me to have my hands like this on the ground. So listen to that. I like to do things normally. Even post surgery, but doctor's orders. What I'm going to do, me personally, obviously for now I can do the knuckle push-ups. I'm going to keep working those, but eventually when I'm able to do a regular push-up, that's going to come with some time building the strength back. Whenever I'm able to do that, I just want to get to the point where if I want to do it, I can do it. If my default push-up position has to be on my knuckles, I don't really mind. But if I want to get down on my hands and do a push-up, I don't want to be uncomfortable being on my hands. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just gonna keep y'all updated on that specifically because I know it's a lot of people out there that they are thinking about the surgery and they're worried about push-ups or no push-ups. I'm just gonna let y'all know my experience so y'all can know if you should even push for being able to do a regular push-up. But modified, we're good. We can do modified push-ups all day. It's just putting your hands in that regular push-up position. So I'm gonna strive for that, to be able to do it like I was doing it before, banging out 30, 40, 50 push-ups at once. But if my body does tell me no, it's gonna be a tough choice to make, and just swallow that. I'd rather be able to do other things like go boxing and stuff than be able to do a push-up. So yeah, I think I pretty much touched on everything as far as where I'm at. I can deadlift again. I can pick up weight. Working back on getting my grip strength up. Oh yeah, that's another thing. On my good hand, I'm at about 120 to 130, I believe. On this hand, I'm up to 90. So if y'all remember when I made this video a month ago, this hand was at about 60. So now I'm up to 90. I think max I hit on this was about 95. So I'm getting really close to that 120, 120 range. 120, 130 range on my right hand. So, that's a lot of progress made in that regard as well. So I'm really happy about that. Then last but not least, fighting. That's my biggest thing, being able to fight again, boxing. So lifting and being in the gym, pretty much good on that. Just the push-ups. Oh yeah, let me touch on dips. I haven't really done a dip yet because I'm reworking the strength to be able to carry my body weight. It's not necessarily a wrist problem, but a strength problem. So I'm working on that right now. I'll keep y'all updated and let y'all know when I'm able to do a dip again. One last thing, cleans. cleans. So if you know, if you're in the gym, if you're an athlete, and you ever do hand cleans, power cleans, it involves you dipping, and then you gotta come violently and catch the weight like this, right? And then boom, you're up. So I have an issue here where when I try to catch the weight, since I'm violently snapping my wrist back and catching weight with my wrist bent backward like that, I kind of struggle with that. So right now, um, that has been an issue. So doing cleans, power, hand cleans, whatever type of cleans, just I don't know why automatically like this one is a little higher. That's a bit weird. I need to fix my form, but yeah. So just doing that. Dang, this shoulder tight. Hold up. Okay, I need to work on that. I'll work on that in the gym. But anyway, yeah. So that violent snapping back does irritate my wrist a bit. So I've stayed away from cleans. They were pretty typical in my routine, but I need to swap them out. Try to find something or just work my way back into it. Not really swap them out. I'm gonna work my way back into it, but I'll probably start with a kettlebell swing and just do this, just dip with the kettlebell, do this, and then eventually I'll move on to the barbell, work my way up. But again, my advice from anybody doing this surgery or thinking about it is on the recovery phase, you just need to listen to your body. Like, don't force things, like when I was struggling with that, I believe I said 10-pound dumbbell on shoulder press or bench press or whatever, I could have just pushed through it, but it's like you need to know when you're ready to gravitate to the next level. You just don't want to rush it because you rush it, you're out the game even longer. You know what I'm saying? So that's what's kind of where I am with fighting. Back to that. Um, I'm not fighting yet. I haven't really tried to hit the baggie. I'm gonna be trying soon. So my doctor pretty much cleared me for shadow boxing, which has been going pretty well. I'm able to throw punches without any issue. That doesn't even hurt my wrist at all. Before that did give me some type of pain, whether I'm throwing the jab or we throw the hook. There's no real there's no real issue with that. Like I'm able to throw it without having any issues on the wrist, but that's only shadow boxing, right? As far as hitting people, hitting the bag, that's gonna be a bit more time. I'm estimating like a month to 2 months right now. My therapist has said get a sandbag slash bag of rice and just start light. Punch the bag of rice, punch the sandbag because when you punch, the force is transferred straight from the knuckles all the way here. So you need this, especially the wrist, to be strong and to be able to take that impact. I haven't really tried to do that. So she told me to start with the knuckle push-ups and then, start touching the bag, the sandbags, the rice bags lightly, and then, from there, see how I'm feeling, start to add more force behind it. And then from there, just graduate a little bit. Just start light, taps, wrap the hand and everything, just start to graduate. My doctor pretty much said the same thing. He said just start to tap the bag lightly and eventually just add a bit more force behind it, just pop, pop, pop. And then from there, you can really start to do this, throw the hooks, boom, pop. And then, yeah, so my doctor expects me to start just tapping the bag within the next month or so. So I'll start that. And, based on everything, I'm looking to be back at least punching the bag at 50 to 70% in the next month to 2 months, sparring on the latter of the 2 months. But again, no rush. I'm trying to really listen to my body because I would hate to get re-injured. It's kind of like when, especially with fighting, like when you start to fight, you don't really stop. You just keep going. So I'm not really rushing to start because I know that when I fight or when I'm back fighting, I'm gonna be fighting like a lot. So it's really no rush there. Um, More of a matter of trying to get it right. Every day in my room, I still shadow box and do things like that. Still watch the sport. Um, yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at right now. I'm doing the speed bag, but I haven't started tapping the bag. I will be starting that soon, within the next month, maybe within the next week or two, because next week is actually my last week of therapy. So it's been a long road, long journey, but yeah, I'll just keep y'all updated. If you have any other thing that you want to see if I can do or not, or you want me to test out, just let me know. I think I pretty much touched on everything that could possibly be asked. But again, just to show y'all and give y'all a visual, I can bend like this to the side, this way. There's not really much bend either way, and then backwards, kind of like this. So I get the gist. I kind of see where I'm at. But yeah, also one last thing to add, my wrist does get a bit sore. After doing some workout, sometimes it does get a bit sore, but that has gotten better over time the more I use it. I'm also noticing that my strength overall is going up the more I use it. So it's good to use a wrist if it when you're clear to use a wrist. Don't shy away from not using your wrist. Be careful and smart about it, but use your wrist. But I really do appreciate y'all, whoever watches my videos, whether it's one, two, three, four, five of you. I appreciate y'all for sitting through. If y'all need anything else from me, just let me know. I'm always answering, talking to people. I got like 5, 6 subscribers, so I'm gonna see your comment. So yeah, have a good one. Stay blessed. I appreciate y'all and have a good night. Peace.